What's going on, y'all? Peter Griffin here. So, we finally have the kit details for Denia, and me personally, I'm very excited to see how Denia is going to play and what her kit's going to be like, because between Hiyuki and Denia, I was always more excited for Denia because I always thought Denia was just the more cooler character in my opinion, mainly because of her second transform state. I always thought that form looked much cooler than Hiyuki's, and I think that form in general just looks really cool as well. But anyway, Denia I was always more excited for than Hiyuki, which is probably going to sound like a hot take because Hiyuki is the main headlining character for the anniversary, but I don't know, just for Hiyuki, don't get me wrong, her design is cool, but I just don't think it hits the same as Denya's in my opinion. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing today is that I'm going to be going over Denya's entire kit, and I'm also going to be covering her weapon as well. So, without a doubt, let's get into it. So, her combat rules are Concerto Efficiency, Resonance Liberation Damage, another Resonance Liberation character. This is like the third one we've gone so far. They're just spamming Resonance Liberation damage, which is like crazy. Traction. I have no idea what Traction does, so I'm curious to see what this is going to do. Fusion Burst, obviously, she's obviously meant to be the Fusion Burst sub DPS, which is going to work on Amet's team, which I'm personally very excited to see because this is going to be the first actual Fusion Burst team that we have in the game because we know that Denia's set is in the game right now, so I cannot wait to see how she's going to play out with Amet. And then she also has Tune Strain Response and Tune Break Boost. So, I want to know if she's going to have two modes, like one mode's going to be Tune Break Efficiency, another mode's going to be like Fusion Burst, similar to how Amet has her Tune Break mode, and then she has her mode where she can apply Fusion Burst. Is she going to be able to switch between modes like Amet? We're gonna have to see. So, let's go. So for her basic attacks in her Stagecraft form, which is her normal form, and then her breakdown form, which is her transform state with her Resonance Liberation. In her regular form, they're just not giving descriptions? Okay, that's kind of weird. They're just not giving descriptions for her basic attacks. That's a little bit interesting. Alright, so her Resonance skill in her Stagecraft form, pull in nearby targets dealing fusion damage. Okay, it looks like Stagecraft form's nothing too crazy. In breakdown form, Beckon, pull in nearby targets dealing fusion damage. This skill shares a cooldown with Banish breakdown form, and it can be cast in midair. And for Banish, while holding a dark core, replace Beckon breakdown with Banish breakdown form. Cast Banish breakdown form stage 1 to pull in nearby targets dealing fusion damage. Press normal attack or resonance skill shortly after cast Banish breakdown form stage 2. This skill does resonance liberation damage, and this skill shares a cooldown with Beckon breakdown form. Okay. So, I'm curious as to what they mean when holding a dark core. Like, this is probably going to do something with her Forte circuit, so I'm curious as to what this is going to do. But if this is all what it's doing, it's really just going to be a pull, this is not bad. I was expecting this to apply Fusion Burst, so to not have it apply Fusion Burst is kind of crazy in my opinion, but again, I'm going to wait and see, because maybe when she has a dark core, it could apply Fusion Burst, but let's see. Her Resonance Liberation in Stagecraft form Final Act deals fusion damage. After performing the skill, obtain Entropy Effect Breakdown form, which lasts for 12 seconds, and switch to Breakdown form. Okay. Resonance Liberation Final Act. So this is her second Resonance Liberation when she's in the Breakdown form. When Conformal Charge is full, consume all Conformal Charge and Void Particle to perform the skill. Deals fusion damage. After casting the skill, obtain Entropy Effect Stagecraft form, which lasts for 30 seconds, and then switch to Stagecraft form. So in her second ult, she's just going to do a massive amount of damage. That's what it's looking like. And then summon this orb right here as well. Yeah, so she's going to summon this orb after her second Resonance Liberation. She's going to switch back into her base form, and the orb is actually going to stay on field. And as you can see, it's doing damage as well. So she's going to come in, do damage, place this orb on field, and switch back into her regular form. And I'm guessing that maybe this orb, like in the middle, is probably going to be her main way of applying Fusion Burst, but let's see. Okay, so for her Forte circuit, Flawless. After casting Resonance Liberation Final Act Breakdown form, generate an Erosion Field lasting for 30 seconds. Erosion Field pulls in nearby targets once every 4 seconds, dealing fusion damage considered Resonance Liberation damage. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, unless I'm missing something, how is she gonna be able to apply Fusion Burst? That's the thing I wanna know, how is she gonna apply Fusion Burst? Because I thought the cube was gonna be able to apply Fusion Burst, but all it's looking like is that the cube, after her second Resonance Liberation, it looks like all it's doing is just gonna pull in nearby enemies and do damage, which, don't get me wrong, that's still good. Pulling in enemies and doing damage is good, but how is she gonna be able to apply Fusion Burst? So that's the thing that I want to know. Intro skill. Available in Stagecraft form dealing fusion damage. Okay, this one's just really nothing interesting, just a basic intro skill. And then, yeah, her intro skill is the same as this one, it's just dealing fusion damage. So her intro skill is nothing noteworthy. I thought she was going to be able to apply Fusion Burst off her intro, but I guess not. So how is she going to be able to apply Fusion Burst now? I'm confused. I mean, is it an outro? Let's see. Okay, outro skill, Unfinished Lies. When in Resonance Mode, Fusion... Oh, okay, so I was right. Okay. She is able to apply Fusion Burst through her Ultra skill. And I was also correct in the beginning as well when I said that she's able to switch between modes, a Fusion Burst mode and a Tomb Break mode. I was correct. So let's see. When in Resonance Mode, Fusion Burst. Fusion Burst damage against targets near the active Resonator in the team is amplified by 60%? What the hell? Wait. A 60% Fusion Burst damage? What? Yo, what the hell? Okay, that's actually kind of crazy. What the hell? 60% Fusion Burst damage is crazy. And when in Resonance Mode Toon Strain, the incoming Resonator has all their damage amplified by 15%. A 15% damage buff just from our outro. What? Come on, what? After this Resonator under this effect inflicts Toon Strain shifting, they gain a 40% damage amplification instead? What the hell? Oh, yo. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Denia was gonna be restricted to one team, but no. She's actually gonna be very flexible because she's giving a 15% damage bonus from her first outro skill, and then after the Resonator inflicts Toon Strain shifting, she's gonna give a 40% damage amplification instead, which is crazy, bro. What the hell? Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect Denia to actually be this crazy. I thought her Fusion Burst support was gonna be good, but her Toon Strain support? What the hell? That is actually cracked. 40% damage amplification is actually still like... I don't even know what to say to that. 40% damage amplification? Off an outro skill too. I think this might be the best outro skill in the game because while there are other outro skills that buff, that give bigger buffs, like, it's like gives like a 50% heavy attack damage bonus. This is just a flat damage bonus right here. 40% flat damage bonus, which is crazy, bro. I don't know what to say to this. Just a 40% damage amplification off an outro skill? Come on, bro. Like, this is broken. This might be the best outro skill in the game. This is absolutely broken. And now for our combat guide. So, grants damage bonus to Resonators in the team. Okay. When in Resonance Mode Fusion Burst, the Resonator inflicts Fusion Burst effect. Okay, alright, there we go. That's where it is now. Okay, so she's going to be able to inflict Fusion Burst when she's in her Fusion Burst mode. Okay, that makes sense now, because I was wondering how she was going to be able to do it before, because they never said in her kit before, like right here during her Forte or Liberation or Resin skill, they never said how she was going to be able to apply Fusion Burst, but now we actually see how she's going to be able to apply it. So when in Resonance Mode Fusion Burst, this Resonator inflicts Fusion Burst effect and boosts damage output of Fusion Burst effect teams. When in Resonance Mode Toon Strain, then you can inflict Toon Strain, shifting, reset Toon Strain, and interfere duration, rapidly increase the target's off-tune level, and overall boosted damage dealt by Toon Strain response team. Okay, so from what I'm getting right here, she's going to be a pretty flexible support, so not only will she be on Amet's team, she could also work on any of the Toon Break characters as well, so Luke as well. She could also work on Amet's Toon Break team as well. Wow, that's actually... So, as of right now, she's on 3 teams. And she can also work with the other characters too because of her 40% damage amplification as well, which is crazy. What the hell? Oh my god. Well, yeah, bro, oh my god. I still can't get over this 40% amplification from her outro skill. This is crazy. Anyways, so for her first inherent skill, Vestiges of Falsehood, when Denia engages in combat in Stagecraft form, restore Dark Cores to 2 if she has fewer than 2. Restore Void Particle to 20 points if she has fewer than 20. This effect can be triggered every 20 seconds. Yeah, that's cool now, but what does the Dark Cores and the Void Particles do though? So I'm not really understanding what this does because I don't know what the Dark Cores and the Void Particles do. So I'm going to come back to this one once I know what the Dark Cores and Void Particles do. But for as of right now, this doesn't sound too bad. Her second inherent skill, Etched Colors. While in the entropy shift state, Denia obtains the following effects based on her current resonance mode. In Fusion Burst mode, all Resonators on the team get a 30% fusion damage bonus. What the hell? Okay, wait. So just in Fusion Burst mode, she's giving a 30% fusion damage bonus, and then for her outro skill, a 60% fusion burst damage, which is what? Bro, what the hell? I can already tell that the Fusion Burst team, it's already going to be doing a crap ton of damage just off those 2 skills alone. Because with the 30% fusion bonus damage right here, and then the 60% fusion burst damage, that's gonna do a crap ton of damage right there. But anyway, so in Toon Strain mode, all Resonators on the team gain 10 Toon Break boost. When a Resonator in the team has an off-tune build-up rate over 100%, every 10% that runs over increases the Resonator's Toon Break boost by 8 up to 40. Okay, this looks like it's going to do a crap ton of damage once we actually build up the off-tune level and then use your Toon Break attack. So this mode looks like it could do like a crap ton of damage off Toon Break alone, which is crazy. What the hell? Alright, so for her 14th Circuit Flawless, the Erosion Field. So, after casting Resonance Liberation Final Act Breakdown form, generate an erosion field lasting for 30 seconds. Only one erosion field generated by your own residue can exist at a time. Okay, well, that makes sense, obviously. That one makes sense. If she could have 2 erosion fields, that'd actually be pretty broken. Erosion Field pulls on nearby targets once every 4 seconds, dealing fusion damage, considered resonance liberation damage. Okay, so she doesn't apply a fusion burst through here, which is honestly still surprising to me. I thought she'd be able to apply a fusion burst through her erosion field, but I guess not. Void Particle. This is what they were talking about in her Heron skill. Void Particle. When in the breakdown form while holding Void Particle, normal attacks consume Void Particle on hit and grants the following effects. This skill is considered resonance separation damage and the damage multiplier is increased by 50 and conformal charge regenerates 100% faster. So let me get this straight. So her Void Particle, the skill damage is considered resonance separation damage and the damage multiplier is increased by 50. So she gets a 50% damage increase just off one Void Particle. Is what? Okay, bro. 50% damage increase? Alright. I'm curious now. I'm actually very curious to see as to how much damage Denia is actually going to be able to do because she does not sound like a sub DPS. I don't get how she's a sub DPS. She genuinely doesn't sound like a sub DPS. With all these damage multipliers that she's getting herself, how is she a sub DPS? I really need to see her damage in game now because this looks like she's going to be able to do a crap ton of damage. Alright, so for a now more detailed description of Resonance Mode Fusion Burst, Denia gains the following effects. Each time the following skills deal damage, inflict 2 stacks of Fusion Burst on the target. Okay, I was correct. So she is going to be able to inflict Fusion Burst through her other skills. Okay, so that makes sense now. Alright. Because I'm not going to lie, I think the fact that they waited up until her Resonance Mode Fusion Burst to say that she's going to be able to apply Fusion Burst through her like skills, her Resonance skill, or her intro skill, I think the fact that they kind of waited to say this is kind of stupid in my opinion. I feel like they should have just said right here that if you're in Resonance Fusion Burst mode, you should be able to apply Fusion Burst. I think the fact that they just did not put it here is stupid in my opinion. So, in Fusion Burst damage mode, the same skill can only trigger this effect once every 2 seconds against the same target. So the skills that be able to apply Fusion Burst are both of her intro skills, her Resonance Liberation, so both of her Resonance Liberations, in her erosion field, so all these moves can apply. I'm surprised her resonance skill doesn't apply. Wait, her resonance skill is the orb, right? The field. Let me just check. Oh, okay. So her resonance skill is just not going to apply it. Okay, wow, that's pretty surprising. I thought her resonance skill would be able to apply Fusion Burst both in her transform state and her base state, but guess not. That's interesting. All right. So essentially, everything except her resonance skill or normal attacks will not apply Fusion Burst. That's interesting. Alright. Each time when the skills deal damage, inflict Fusion Burst on the target. The same skill can only trigger this effect once every 2 seconds against the same target. Oh, wait, no, I was wrong. So no, her basic attacks will be able to apply Fusion Burst. Okay, so I was correct. In both her base form and her transform state, she will be able to apply Fusion Burst. So I was correct then. Wait, what? Okay. So everything in her kit except her regular resin skill will not be able to apply Fusion Burst. What? Okay, bro, what? I mean, at least we know how she's gonna be able to apply Fusion Burst. It's just through everything except her resin skill, so I guess just screw her resin skill then. Alright, that's funny. It's just all of her basic attacks, her intro skills, her Resonance Liberations, and her Erosion Field. Those are going to be her main ways of applying Fusion Burst. Alright, I see it now, I understand it. And when Denia is in the team, if an enemy falls to Fusion Burst damage, it counts as caused by the nearest active resonator. Okay, so now for Resonance Mode. So while in Resonance Mode Tune Strain, Denia gains the following effects. Each time when the following skills deal damage, inflict Tune Strain shifting on the target, and reset the duration of Tune Strain interfered on the same target. The same skill can only trigger this effect once every 2 seconds against the same target. And it's the same as her Fusion Burst mode right here. It's all of her skills except just her Resin skill. Like, wow. They really just do not like her Resin skill in this game from what I'm looking at. They really just told Denia that her Resin skill is useless from what I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't see anything with her Resin skill. I'm going through right now. Yeah, I don't see anything with her Resin skill. Wow. So her Resin skill really is just useless. That's kind of crazy. I'm not even going to hold you. And when Resonators on the team inflict Tune Strain shifting on the target's off-tune level is increased by 50% of the max. This effect can only be triggered on the same target once every 300 seconds. Okay, so her Tune Strain mode definitely seems to be pretty strong as well. Well, I mean, both these modes seem to be pretty strong as well. As for which mode I think will be better, I'm not very sure. I want to see how both these forms are going to play out, but I can't say which one's going to be definitively better because they both look like they're going to be strong on their very own. Now, for the Dark Cores, so Denia can hold up to 3 Dark Cores. While in the entropy shift state, Denia obtains 1 Dark Core every 12 seconds. Denia obtains Dark Core upon casting both of her intro skills, okay. And for the Void Particles, so Denia can hold up to 100 points of Void Particle. While in Stagecraft form, dealing damage through normal attacks grants Void Particle. Okay, so in her base form, if you want to use her normal attacks, you build up Void Particles, alright? And casting an intro skill, well, both her intro skills grants 25 points of Void Particle. Okay, so that's how you build up her Void Particles then, alright? So you just use her intro skill and her normal attacks. Alright, that's pretty self-explanatory. And Conformal Charge. Then you can hold up to 100 points of Conformal Charge. While in Breakdown form, dealing damage through normal attack or Resin skill beckon grants Conformal Charge. Casting Resin skill Banish Break form stage 2 grants 40 points of Conformal Charge. Okay, we finally know that her Resin skill is going to be useful for something, at least. It's not going to be only pulling targets and do damage, it's going to build up Conformal Charge. Alright, so finally her Resin skill has something to do. And speaking of her Resin skill, let's see what it's actually going to do. In her Stagecraft form, yeah, Stagecraft form and Beckon and Breakdown form, they're not doing anything, but Banish, let's see. So, Banish Breakdown form. While holding a Dark Core, replace Beckon Breakdown with Banish Breakdown form. Cast Banish stage 1 to pull in nearby targets dealing fusion damage. Press normal attack or Resin skill shortly after to cast Banish Breakdown form stage 2. Banish Breakdown form consumes all Dark Cores dealing fusion damage. For each Dark Core consumed, the damage multiplier of the attack is increased by 150%? Wait, what? The damage multiplier of the attack is increased by 150%. And she can hold up to 3 Dark Cores. I'm sorry. So you're telling me Banish Breakdown form stage 2, if you have max stacks of Dark Cores, the damage multiplier is going to be 450%? I'm sorry, how is she a sub DPS? How is she a sub DPS? She cannot be a sub DPS. Like, she's got to work as a main DPS. With all these damage multipliers I'm seeing, she has to work as a main DPS. And the skill scales with Resin Separation damage? Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I don't see how she's a sub DPS. She's gotta work as a main DPS, because if she works as a main DPS, I will main that team. With how much damage she's doing, again, I just genuinely don't see how she's a sub DPS. Like, yeah, she's supporting, but with how much damage she's able to do, she's honestly gonna out damage a lot of the characters in this game. Like, I'm sorry, just what were they thinking with this character? Like, a 150% damage multiplier per Dark Core stack, and she has up to 3. She can hold up to 3 Dark Cores, so a 450 damage multiplier. I'm sorry, I just don't see how she's a sub DPS. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I think Denia might be better than Hiyuki. I don't think she's gonna be able to out damage Hiyuki, but with Denia's support, I think Denia offers a lot more value than Hiyuki. Am I wrong on that? I could be wrong on that, but I will not be surprised if Denia is better. And honestly, I think I'm starting to lean towards more Denia being better and having more value. So Denia, I think if you guys weren't gonna pull for Denia before, I think simply because of her Toon Train mode, this mode honestly offers her a lot more flexibility. So if you weren't gonna pull her for her Fusion Burst mode, I think pulling her for her Toon Train mode definitely helps a lot more for her to be more flexible. So again, if you're not going to go for a Fusion Burst mode, pick her up for her Toon Train mode, because this mode is also pretty good as well. I don't think her Toon Train mode is as good as her Fusion Burst mode, but her Toon Train mode is still pretty good as well. And now for her Resonance Liberation final attack. No, final act, my bad. First, Resonance Liberation, deal fusion damage. Okay, this one's not really anything crazy. It's just the same. Final Act, Breakdown form. When Conformal Charge is full, consume all Conformal Charge and Void Particles to perform the skill, deal fusion damage. After casting the skill, obtain Entropy Shift, Stagecraft form, which will last for 30 seconds, and switch to Stagecraft form. And then for Entropy Shift, Breakdown form, increases attack by 30%. Okay, wait, that's it? Oh, so she just gets a 30% attack increase. Okay. It doesn't say how long it lasts for. Obtaining this effect removes the Entropy Shift Stagecraft form. Okay, so. And for Entropy Shift Stagecraft form, grants 1 point of Void Particle per second. Obtaining this effect removes the Entropy Shift Breakdown form effect. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing that once she obtains Entropy Effect Stagecraft form, she'll lose 30% attack, and vice versa. So once she gets this skill, she'll lose this skill, and once she gets this skill, she'll lose this skill. Okay. I see it now, but this 30% attack, I was expecting a little bit more. I feel like that's kind of low. I don't know if I'm crazy, but 30% attack, that feels kind of low for what's in her kit. I was expecting maybe like 50, but I mean, 30% is not all that bad. It's still fine. And then for her normal attacks aren't really looking to be anything crazy for Stagecraft form or just anything in general, because you'll be able to apply Fusion Burst with these moves, don't get me wrong, but right here, they just look like regular basic attacks, mid-air attacks, and dodge counters, so I'm not going to really cover these because you'll be able to apply Fusion Burst and Toon Strain with these moves, so me covering these moves, I think I've already covered the use of all her normal attacks, so I'm not going to cover these. And then for her Toon Break, Shattered Hours, so when the target's off-toon level is full, then you can cast Toon Break on the target. When in Resonance Mode Toon Strain, then you gain the following effects. Then you can inflict Toon Strain shifting on the target. Denia can respond to Toon Strain interfered. When responding to Toon Strain interfered, for each stack of Toon Strain interfered on the target, each point of Denia's Toon Break boost increases her total damage dealt against the target by 0.12%. And while Denia is on the team, the max stack limit of Toon Strain interfered on the target is increased by 1. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, her Toon Break and Toon Strain looks actually pretty strong, especially with the Toon Break boost damage she's gonna get with her total damage as well against the target as well. It looks to be pretty insane as well. So overall, Denia's kit, I actually do think Denia, she potentially could be the strongest sub DPS in the game. She could be better than Lynae, but I won't be surprised if she is, because I do think she'll be better on the Fusion Burst team. Don't get me wrong, her Toon Strain mode also looks to be pretty strong as well, but her Fusion Burst mode, she seems to be applying a lot more support in this mode than Toon Strain. So I wouldn't be surprised if her Fusion Burst mode is better. And I do think her Toon Strain mode could be like a good alternative for those who don't have Lynae. Overall, I'm very glad with Denia's kit. I genuinely thought she was going to be a character that would only work on the Fusion Burst team, but I was proven wrong. I'm honestly very glad, and I'm surprised that she's actually able to work outside of other teams. Overall, Denia, I think she's going to be a very good character. I can't wait to see how she's going to play in game. I can't wait to use her. I'm definitely going for her, and I'm going for her weapon as well. And speaking of her weapon, let's talk about her weapon. So, Forged Star. Let's see what the ability is. Dissolution, so it increases attack by 12%. When the wielder inflicts Fusion Burst or Toon Strain shifting on the target, it increases their Resonance Liberation damage bonus by 36% for 5 seconds. Under this effect, when Resonators on the team inflict Fusion Burst or Toon Strain shifting, their attack is increased by 24%. Oh, okay, so that's not bad actually. It's actually pretty good if you ask me. So her weapon? I thought her weapon was going to be a little bit more crazier like Hiyuki's, but I guess not. Her weapon is still strong, don't get me wrong. I thought it was just going to be as broken, if not slightly more broken than Hiyuki's, but her weapon is still good though, so overall, I am very excited for her weapon. I do think her weapon's going to be pretty cool. So overall, Denia, in my opinion, a very cool character, definitely exceeded my expectations by a lot. I still can't get over her Fusion Burst mode because her Fusion Burst mode, with the amount of support she has in this mode, is still wild to me. And her own personal damage too is still crazy to me as well. Like, I still can't get over her 150% damage multiplier that she's getting, like right here. For each Dark Core obtained, the damage multiplier of the attack is increased by 150, and she's going to be able to hold up to 3 Dark Cores. In that right there, again, 450% damage multiplier, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what to say to that still. A 450% damage multiplier is absolutely broken. So overall, Denia, very good, well, not good, very amazing sub DPS. She potentially could be the new best sub DPS. I won't be surprised if she's better than Lynae, but I could see Lynae offering more value though. But we're gonna have to wait and see. So overall, thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell for when I do upload a new video. And let me know what you guys think of Denia as well. Are you guys gonna go for her? Are you guys excited for her? Are you guys gonna still skip her? Let me know in the comments down below. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.